morning, everybody. Hey, it's Monday, man, and man, I don't know what happened to the weekend. I really don't. One minute it's Friday, we're looking forward to it. The next minute it's Sunday night, and we're going back into today. And I think that's what happens with life. But one of the things that I've really been trying to do a lot more lately is be cognizant of what my time available is and what I have to do, and what my reality is as far as the choices that I can make during the day, during the week, during the month, to do more of what I'm wanting to do. And I don't mean that when I say doing more of what I want to do, it's not about doing less work. It's about doing the things at work that I want to do. It's about dialing into what I find is fulfilling to me, what I find that is the things that I need to get out of life to feel like I'm making a difference, to feel like I matter, to know that at the end of the day, it's not just another orbit around the sun. There's really something that out of 7 point whatever billion people, my last 24 hours did something to advance not only my life, the life of my family and the life of my friends and the life of those around me. And I think that, the last 24 months have caused a lot of us to think through a lot of these things a little different and to try and figure out what is life all about? Why are we doing this thing that we do? Is it just to get up and go to work so that we can make enough money to buy a loaf of bread, to get something to eat, so we can have a roof over our heads, so that we can go to bed exhausted and hopefully only do this 7 days a week for the next 20 years until we can retire right before we die? Or is there really something more to this whole thing? Is there really something that allows us to have that beautiful time in between where we get to enjoy ourselves, where we get those moments of satisfaction, where even though it might not have been what other people call fun, I used to love being in my garden. And I say used to because I just didn't bother to plant one this year. Life was too busy. And to be quite honest, all I grew was tomatoes because, well, come on, you guys know this. The thing that tastes so good is a garden fresh tomato. Right? Cucumbers are cucumbers. Bell peppers, I don't know that they're that much different. And there's the satisfaction of growing those things. But for me, oh man, nothing better than a juicy tomato that's just so full of flavor you don't even need salt on it. But that was my thing. I used to love going out and being in my garden for an hour or two. I love going for a drive. I love flying. I love these things. And where do I find the time to make sure that I recreate properly, to make sure that I'm enjoying what is mine, enjoying the time that I have, because that's why all the other things have to get done. But there's that part of us that we forget that we are the engine that has to be, I think of a locomotive, right? If you're not stoking my furnace full of fuel that burns and it gets me excited and gets me going and makes me want to get after it, I'm not going to do it with gusto. I'm not going to do it well. I'm not going to do it the way I should. So how do I make sure that I'm giving myself that fuel? How do I make sure that I'm stoking the engine, that I'm really feeling it, and I'm really motivating myself to make sure that I get through my week so that it's not just the weekend that I'm taking a couple of hours to do that with? What is it in my life that I'm doing on a daily and a weekly basis to recharge myself, to make myself everything I ever wanted to be, so that when I get to work, when I am given the opportunity to do the things that I do, I'm able to see how that feeds that fuel, right? And so it's a circle. It's a circle that I have to be energized. I have to like what I'm doing. I have to be excited about what I'm doing. Doesn't mean I love every single second of it, but I enjoy what I'm doing. Overall, at the end of the day, I'm getting something out of it. And that can't just be money. Money is not enough of a motivator for anybody, really. Maybe Scrooge McDuck, right? But for the rest of us, we've got to have more than money. We've got to have something in there that really adds to our soul, that brings us to a place where we're able to take it to the next level because we are entrenched in what we're doing and we're fighting for the other things in our life, right? We're fighting for the time with family. We're fighting for the boat trip with friends. We're fighting for the afternoon barbecues. We're fighting for those things. We're fighting to make sure that our soul gets fed, so that we're fighting to make sure that who we are inside is energized. Because when that happens, guys, you know how excited you are to get back to work on Monday. And it's not because work is exciting all of a sudden. It's because we're full of life. We're bursting with that fruit flavor, right? We're coming at it from the standpoint that, man, of all the things I have to do, this is the one that gets me to the place that I get to do the things that I love to do the most. And how many of us lose sight of that? How many of us get mired down in the churning of life, and we forget that we are the reason that we have to be excited about life? If we're not excited, who else is supposed to be excited about our life? Our boss? Our spouse is supposed to be excited about the job we have because it allows our family to live at a certain level? I don't even think, I think that our spouses, I think that our significant others, I think that our partners in life, even our children can sense when we're doing it for the money. And so where are we at in that theory, in that thought process, to make sure that we are doing it for love of something? Right? And it doesn't even mean, you can go to a job that you wouldn't be your preference, but you know that, hey, this one gives me the hours that I want, or this one gives me the opportunity to be in proximity of the people that I'm looking for, that gives me the things that I want on the other side, that allows me to look at how I can do other things. And maybe that's why you're doing it. Maybe it's the fact that your boss has a similar passion, or the people at work have a similar passion for life, and you get that camaraderie. Maybe you could work anywhere, but you choose to work here because your coworkers are just awesome, right? Maybe you're choosing to do this because it does get you to the next level. This is a training ground for you to figure that out. But there's so many options, right, for people to be able to do these things and to think through these things and to want these things, but you have to identify why you're doing it. You have to be the one that finally comes to that conclusion that this is what's best for me. This is what I need. This is what floats my boat. This is what completes my world. I love to have my employees read The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, not because I truly believe that any of us can work 4 hours, but it helps you to identify all the noise and the chatter and all the superfluous things that we do in our lives that don't really add to our lives. They just chew up time. And it really helps us to dial in and focus that if I do these things and these things only, I will get the result quicker. And what it's helped me to do is to have conversations with my employees that really stimulate that conversation, really stimulate that thought process as to how can we do things efficiently, not because I want to get more done, but because the sooner we get X done, I'm hiring you for a job that is to get from A to B. Once we get to B, we can either go home or we can increase our knowledge, increase our learning, increase our earning, and go for C, D, and E. That's up to us, though. I have people that work for me that are very, very content to do A to B. No more, no less. Life is awesome. I have people that want to get to Q. But we've got to build on that. And they're willing to put in the time and the effort to build on that. Two different people trying to get them to do the same thing would be a nightmare. So, guys, my question for you on this Monday is, are you motivating yourself? Are you working through your work week to reward yourself, or is it a byproduct of what you're excited about? For me, it's a byproduct. Work is a byproduct of my excitement for the field of endeavor that I'm in. So, guys, I hope you have a fantastic week. I hope you take a minute and really look at what motivates you and why you're excited to do what you're doing. And if you've lost that passion, if you can't figure out what in your life is exciting, maybe you need to pull over and kind of take a minute and have that conversation with yourself about what we're going to do when we grow up that we love. Guys, I'll talk to you soon. Have a great week.